Okay, I am going to be doing an informative speech about the Holocaust effect on the German Jew. I'll be talking about three main points on this, and it will be about Hitler's rise to power, the treatment of the Jews, and the end result of the Holocaust. WikiQuotes gives us one of Adolf Hitler's most famous quotes. "Once I really am in power, my first and foremost task will be the annihilation of the Jews." Adolf Hitler came to power over Germany in 1933. He hated Jews and blamed them for everything bad that had ever happened to Germany. Hitler's goal in life was to eliminate the Jewish population with his rise to power in Germany. This is not only why German Jews were the main target of the Holocaust, but why they were a large part of the years before, during, and after the Holocaust. Hitler's final solution almost eliminated the Jewish population in Europe during World War II. At the end of the war, and along with his suicide, the Jewish population would survive the horror known as the Holocaust, and the Jews would eventually find their way back to their homeland of Israel, as well as find new communities to call their home. Hitler's rise to power before World War II was due to his anger at Germany's defeat in World War I and the punishment Germany received from Britain and France. He also directed his anger at Jews and communists he believed contributed to that defeat. According to an article entitled "Jews in Germany," he blamed them for the loss of World War I, which he thought was a Jewish conspiracy. He also believed that the Treaty of Versailles was a Jewish conspiracy designed to take down the country of Germany, as well as the hyperinflation of 1923, which he believed to be the international conspiracy by the Jewish people. On January 1933, Adolf Hitler became Chancellor of Germany. This was the rise to power that he needed to carry out his campaign of evil against the Jewish people. After his rise to power, Hitler branded the Jews as subhumans. The Jews were required to brand their shops with the Star of David or have the word Juden written on the store windows so that no German would shop there. Even though this was not a violent treatment of the Jews, it was an attempt to bankrupt and dehumanize them of everything they worked hard for their whole entire lives. As a result, Jews became a segregated people. They had to ride on clearly marked seats for them on trains and buses. Jewish children were allowed to attend school, but were bullied the whole time there in an attempt to make them not come back. Hitler used this to brand the Jews as lazy people. The Nuremberg laws, passed in 1935, gave even more power to the Nazis and took away more dignity of the Jews. The Jews were stripped of their German citizenship, and marriages between Jews and non-Jews were not allowed. At this point, Jews who could afford to pay a fine would pay a fine to leave the country, but those who could not afford it had to stay in the country, and they were not able to have any food or medication. Hitler's campaign against the Jews escalated in 1938 when the Night of Broken Glass happened, after a Nazi diplomat was found shot to death. Hitler began a 7-day war of terror against the Jews. Shops that were owned by Jews were burned down and destroyed, synagogues were robbed, and the Jewish community was ordered to pay for all the cleanup that the German Nazis ended up doing. Hitler became even more powerful with the start of World War II. This war allowed him to bring the Holocaust to the Jews living in Europe under Nazi control. The history place tells us that with the start of World War II, the Holocaust was in full swing. What the Jews endured from 1940 until 1945 is the most horrific tale of genocide to date. In January of 1940, a new concentration camp was found, and it was in the town of Auschwitz, which murdered over 4,700 Jews. The Second World War by Martin Gilbert tells how Auschwitz was the largest and most well-known concentration camp, but the Nazis also operated several other camps as well. By February of 1940, German Jews were being deported into Poland. Jews were led in groups of 18 to 20, thinking that they were being taken to get a shower, when instead their pipes were filled with carbon monoxide and the gas murdered them all. In November of 1941, there was a mass shooting of German Jews. In March of 1942, the extermination camps became operational and murdered more Jews with permanent gas chambers that also used carbon monoxide. In July of 1942, an extermination camp was opened up in Poland, which contained 10 gas chambers each and killed 200 Jews at a time in each chamber. In June of 1943, a largely newly built gas chamber was ran and operated at Auschwitz, which murdered over 6,000 Jews daily. Finally, on June 6, 1944, also known as D-Day, Allied forces landed in Normandy. This started the end of the Holocaust. On July 24, 1944, Russian troops liberated the first concentration camp where over 360,000 Jews were murdered. According to the Holocaust Encyclopedia, on April 30, 1945, Hitler committed suicide and the Americans freed over 33,000 people from concentration camps. In January of 1933, there was approximately 522,000 Jews living in Germany, and over half of the Jews left Germany during the first 6 years of the Nazi regime, which left only about 214,000 Jews at the beginning of World War II. The United States Holocaust Museum records that by the end of World War II, the Germans had killed between 160 and 180,000 German Jews. German Jews during the Holocaust. It is often said that history repeats itself. The theory is the reason why it is important for people around the world to remember what happened during the Holocaust to the Jewish people. The start of the Holocaust was a gradual process, and the years during the Holocaust was indescribable. No Jew involved knew if it was ever going to end and when it ever would end. As stated earlier, that was the most horrific tale of genocide known in history.
I don't think that was